I ain't got it smooth.
This story is basically about being a parent, and being a parent in New York, which, if you're not from New York, which technically I am, but if you were not raised here and your family does not live here, your mother, your father, your grandparent, it can be a little trying. Are there any people in the audience who can relate? Just a few, just a few. Okay. So this story kind of starts off, I guess 3.5, almost 4 years ago, and I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. And I live in Harlem. I've lived in Harlem for 10 years, over 10 years now, actually. And I was like, wow, this is all very exciting. You know, it's gonna be so easy. I'm just gonna work, and I'll make an arrangement. I'll work from home and, you know, on some days and watch the baby. That's really hard to do. But I was naive, and I was very naive. So I was pregnant, and I was like trying to figure out what my childcare situation was gonna be with my husband. And I was like, so yeah, we'll do a few days when I'll work from home, and then you can watch the baby on other days because he works at night, so you can do the daytime shift. And I'll go in on some days, and you know, if we need to, like we'll get a babysitter or something, and it'll be all fine. My sister-in-law, who actually I live in the same apartment building as her and my brother-in-law, she was like, you know, you should probably look into daycare, just, you know, do some research. It's like, okay, I don't really want to do that. This is totally gonna work. My job is flexible, it's amazing, so, you know, it's gonna be fine. She's like, just look into that, and, you know, maybe look into Mother Hale Learning Center right here on 113th. And I was like, okay. So I went in and I was like, okay, do you all have space? I mean, I haven't even had a baby. I hear these crazy New York stories, or you're not even having the baby yet and you're already figuring out what preschool they're going to, and this is crazy. But, you know, do you have any space for a child that might be born in November? And she's like, no. There's a waiting list. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm 5 months pregnant at this point. I was like, okay, just can you add my name to the waiting list then? And, you know, I'll just see what happens in the next 4 months. She said, okay. So then fast forward, basically a year later, and I get a phone call. And by the way, the work from home thing, I did that for like 2 days out of the 5 days of the week, and it was really hard, and it's very hard. So what ended up happening after my maternity leave was we did a child care share with another family, but that family lived 30 blocks away from us. In the beginning, theoretically, I was like, oh, no problem, we're in the same neighborhood, you know, we'll just take the train or the bus or whatever, and we'll drop the baby off, and then I'll just go back to the office. Problem. But that was also a lot harder to do, to organize yourself and your lunch and your baby and the baby's lunch and make the baby's lunch and all the things. Anyway, so that was hard. Needless to say, when the 7-month call came, I was like, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. So I dropped the baby off there every day, and it was amazing. However, what I didn't say was that when I was 5 months pregnant, adding myself to this waiting list, I took the fee schedule home, and I was like, do you see these prices? This is crazy. Like, who does this? I need 5 days a week. This 5 days a week, this is rent. Like, this is crazy. I'm buying a temporary room for my 3-4-month-old child. But no, this is ridiculous. But again, when the 7-month call came, I was like, okay, we'll be right there. Because in the end, when we calculated how much it would cost for someone to actually care for our child that was not a family member, it actually became more if we didn't do this daycare option. So we did it. That said, all the while, I had been going out, you know, I basically didn't leave Harlem. I think I just started leaving Harlem when I started this new job and getting on the train to go to work, because the office was 8 blocks from my house, the daycare was another, 6 blocks south. And so it afforded me a long time to actually get to know my neighbors a lot better. So I was talking to everybody. I was like, oh, you have a child? How old is your child? What do you do with your child? You know, just all the questions. People felt like they were being interviewed at every second that they met me. And while I was sending Isla, our daughter, to daycare, I was talking to people about all the things that they do with their child or children. And I was also like tinkering around with this idea of starting a babysitting co-op, because I was like, this just doesn't make any sense. I was working on the weekends too, so there's no daycare on the weekends. And I was like, and where's my mother? Where's my mother-in-law? Where's my aunt? Where's my cousin? Where are the people that are supposed to watch this child? You know, we're not here. So I like relied on like my friend network, and definitely my friends that did not already have kids, because they had a little bit more room in their heart for me and child. So I would drop them, drop my daughter off with them and then go work on the weekends. But all the while still thinking about how do I make this work that I'm not burdening my friends every weekend, and also doing this in a way that I'm doing it in collaboration with my neighbors, because I'm meeting lots of people, and a lot of people got kids, and a lot of people have the same like questions of how to make this work with childcare. So a colleague of mine, and also a friend that I'd worked with at the Laundromat Project, also had a child who was around the same age as our daughter. And she was like, she lived in Brooklyn. She's like, I've been thinking about a co-op too. We just never got it started because of the people that I was talking to didn't live close enough. So again, proximity was really key. Like even when we were doing that share with a family 30 blocks away, it seemed close, but it really wasn't close. So it's like all about the 5-block radius really to make something like that happen. So we organized ourselves, and all those people that I was like grilling at at the grocery store, at the, ice cream shop, like, tell me more about what you're doing. I basically reached out to them and I was like, hey, do you guys want to be a part of this co-op? I know you don't know me well. I kind of picked you up at the library, but it would be cool if we could like work together and, support each other, because we're neighbors and we all have kids and stuff, okay? And so everybody was receptive. Our co-op is 15 families, and they're 15 families that did not know each other. I picked them up in public places. And also my collaborator, Reggie and Finney Myers, also picked them up in other places. And so we brought our blind dates, if you will, to a space right here at the 110 Central Park, the Discovery Center. And they opened up their space for us to have these initial meetings to talk about what this could be. And so the co-op I use as this opportunity to really think about what neighbors can do for each other, and how this journey of parenting in the city, where if you don't have immediate family there to support you in that way, how this can be a wonderful way to get to know your neighbors and to support each other in a process and format that does not require the currency of $1. Even exchanging $1 is still a barter system, but what this opportunity offered was a way to think about bartering the resources that we have, which is limited and very fatigued time, but time nonetheless, and also children to entertain the child that you might be watching. And actually, what I've learned is that watching 3 kids at once is sometimes easier than just watching one. It's fascinating. You're tired and you definitely eat behind the refrigerator because you don't want to share your snacks with those kids, but it's, I'm sorry, but they keep each other company and they build their own socialization and get to know friends that they might not see on a regular basis if they're not in school yet or they're not going to a daycare or whatever it is. It also is another opportunity to push yourself, push your own comfort zone of what you are comfortable sharing or exposing your child to. And I definitely say co-ops are not for people who are so particular and so protective and must have things such a particular way for their child, because it's just not gonna go down that way. You're definitely gonna have to get accustomed to the customs of the families that you are in community with. And actually, I think that that's a wonderful thing, and it builds a lot of resilience and flexibility and openness and just the sensibility for a child to be able to be in a space that is not their own. So the co-op is this wonderful thing that I encourage everybody to consider if you have children that need care and you have neighbors that you picked up at the library or wherever, the grocery store, that you want to build with. But even if you don't have kids, what this exercise has proven to me, and what I knew already, but is even more true now, is that we all have resources, we all have assets, and it's really about thinking about what your resources and assets are and thinking about how you can share them with people in your immediate neighborhood and thusly then build community with them and be a support system to each other.
Trying to be cute, I ain't got it smooth. I ain't trying to be rude. I'm just trying to see you move your body with so clap with me. So clap with me. I ain't got it smooth. I ain't trying to be rude. I'm just trying to see you move your body with so clap with me. So clap with me. I ain't got it smooth, I ain't trying to be rude. I'm just trying to see you move your body with so clap with me. Let the kids hit, let the drums drum. F the sickness, F the hump drum.